my demand letter gets this guy's attention, he goes, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. Then
I'm very 100.
The demand letter, I'm pretty sure is gonna work.
It's gonna happen.
Now, as far as we are on the contract for a certain amount of money, we could always renegotiate if he's willing to or seek damages, something like that, right?
well, there's if you have to file suit
Yeah, that could come up
to
in
get
that.
him to do it. If you have to file suit to do it, then
We could bring that up.
you're going to ask for your attorney's fees and costs. I'm not positive, based on the fact that you don't have. Well, where's your contract? Where's the contract that
Which
you guys
one?
have? I think it's right here. Let me check this real quick. Okay, so there's an attorney fee provision in here. So if you have to sue them because he's in breach by not executing a deed, then you may be able to get your attorney's fees and costs through the litigation. You have to pay for the suit as you go, and then when you win, you get a judgment against him that he would then have to pay. That's how that would work. Yeah, the main thing is getting this guy's attention and going, hey, look, what you're doing here in Florida is illegal. It's an illegal contract. It needs to be fixed. You need to come back to the table. You guys need to have the amortization so that you know what is left due and owing, so a note and mortgage can be done along with a proper deed. And then if he responds and says, yeah, okay, let's do it, then you guys just set time and date and go meet over at Tiffany's and have it done.
Now,
If
say
he says, no, I'm not doing anything, you haven't paid it off, all right, let's file a suit for declaratory relief. Get the court to say, you own the title, subject to paying off the debt to him, and ask for attorney's fees and costs for having to bring that suit.
so say hypothetically we can't find him.
Oh, I'll find him.
Oh, okay.
I'll find him.
Okay.
See, excellent. Like whatever this come in, it's super.
This
Okay.
guy,
So
this
this
guy's
route is
got,
the base route.
this guy's got businesses and connections and everything. We'll find him. It's
Okay.
the ones like the mom and pops.
Right.
Like they'll rent a room out to somebody and
Right.
then they leave the house themselves and we have no idea where they are. Those
Right.
are the ones that are really hard to find.
Right.
Someone like this shouldn't be difficult to find.
Right.
He's still conducting business.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
And worst case scenario is if he is evading service, we get the Secretary of State served on his behalf.
Okay.
See,
Mhm.
so it all sounds very good,
It
very,
can
very
get
promising.
complex, and hopefully it doesn't have to go that way.
Right. Right.
James, I wish I met you years ago. Man.
Right.
I'm quiet now because I already know the conversation and I told him that.
You,
It's best to hear from you because you're an
No,
attorney.
this is like another great connection.
You're getting
there.
I appreciate you, sir. You are,
Well, I'm happy to
Yeah.
give legal advice, help out when I can. Here's some business cards you've already got.
Yeah.
also, I have a question for you because when we were there at Miss Tiffany, she gave us this to pay, go to the clerk of court and pay this on one of our property. In that thing, we have
Basically,
one.
cloud the title.
So we need to pay another one also, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Now the
Hold-
property come back to
Hold
us.
on a minute.
Mm.
This is the same contract.
No, different. Company same.
It's two different properties.
Oh. Well, the first thing I look at is the contract number. It's the same number.
Okay.
He didn't change the contract number.
Wow.
Gosh.
Don't.
This guy. Oh my gosh. He's just rinsing and repeating, man. Yeah, he has to be stopped.
This
That's crazy.
deed goes with this contract.
Okay, then this is another one. Then
Oh, hold on. Don't mix it.
Unbelievable. Probably just some movie on this.
Mhm.
What is the date of this contract? 5/10/22, and he gave it to them in 23. This is fraud.
Yeah. It's just so unreal on this, man. This guy was selling the Indian reservation over and over and over.
Mhm.
And when they settled there, the Indians would come down on the hill and kill everybody.
Mm.
They're not supposed to be there. Then the guy turns around and sells it again.
Wow. After the Indians
What's
kill
the
the
name? I gotta
people.
text my wife. What's the name of this movie? That part of the movie was
You
good.
make me
The
want to
rest
see
of it
that
was
movie.
horrible.
I want to see that movie because he
Why-
knew the Indians would kill him.
Okay, on this property here, why is Tiffany saying you need to pay
this is
170?
not our paperwork, I think.
No, this, I'm telling you, this was the one I was looking at on this contract. This doesn't go with, this goes with this second contract, this one right here. There is the parcel number. So this parcel that you bought back in 2022, this goes with this, and he sold it again to somebody else. So this contract doesn't go with this. This goes with this. This goes with that, which shows it's still in Marion Road Investments name.
Yep, how she said that. Goodness, dude.
And this one is 0. So this one you've been the victim of fraud on. Unless his claim is he's got so many properties that he just doesn't know what he's selling.
It's all over the place.
And looks like they bought it for $9,500. How much were you guys paying?
Yep,
On the
that's what Tiffany
contract for
said.
30,000.
I'm sorry.
On the contract for 30,000.
They were buying it for 30, paying notes on it, and this guy turns around
Still
and sells it
paying
for
note.
9,500.
We're still paying a note on something he
You
sold
can
to
pay
somebody.
twice.
This one we are paying, I think. This one, I think. Like the same thing, right?
Well, this one you guys got ripped off on because the property is now in somebody else's name. He sold it to somebody else. So you guys definitely got ripped off on that.
Mhm.
Okay, so there are tax certificates that need to be paid on this one, but you guys don't own it.
Mm-hmm.
20, so 22. So effective this November, whoever owns it can file for an application for a tax deed. In order to protect yourself, you need to go pay the taxes, and then you need to sue this guy. And you're going to have to sue Caitlin Rankin, Jacob Bayless, and Marion Road Investments LLC for declaratory relief that you own the property and then these guys don't. And then it's going to turn into a disaster because these guys are going to have to countersue you and cross sue
Him.
seller. It's going to get messy
Should contact
on this one.
the new owners.
What's that?
I said I think they should contact the new owners. That would help too. Because that's the recent contact that somebody had. And you find out what they went through. And most likely what they're going to do is they're going to help you. If they're nice enough, they're going to give you their documentation. Because they don't want to be involved in a lawsuit. And they want to know, do they really own it?
Well, even if they don't want to cooperate, I can get the information. I do non-party discovery on the title company, and I'll get it that way. But again, that's more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
If they'll talk to you and work with you up front, and they'll say, "Yeah, we got ripped off, or you guys got ripped off," because it's undeveloped land.
Exactly.
Right.
So should be pretty straightforward. Somebody owns it and somebody doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go ahead and just go pay this tax certificate now?
If you don't, well, if you do, worst case scenario, if you do and you sue and you lost, you're out another $170. If you don't, anytime after November of this year, whoever owns a tax certificate can apply for a tax deed.
Yeah.
And what that means is they're not going to get a deed, it's going to go get set for public auction.
Mhm.
And if the property gets sold at public auction, it wipes out
Wipes
everybody's
everybody.
interest before them. Everybody.
So let's go ahead and get the
So you should go down and pay the taxes to preserve your interest in the property.
all right. What time is it?
You got time.
You got plenty of time today. And then see if these owners will talk to you guys. And I would say this issue is going to crush that issue.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
If we sue them on one, you sue them on everything.
Right,
And you get declaratory relief on everything.
right.
Let
So-
James contact them.
Yeah. Yes.
I would suggest that, do you want me to contact the other owners and get some communication
Right,
going
yeah.
with them? What I would have to explain to them in communicating with them is that I would prefer they retain counsel and their attorney contact me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this does have to go to litigation, we would have to include them as defendants because they now have title to what
We
should have
own.
been your land.
Right.
And I can express that to them in a way that they can understand and see if they're willing to cooperate with this.
Right.
Because somebody needs to get their money back.
Right.
Either he needs to give you back all your money and damages
And just
and
let them
attorney's
have
fees and costs,
right.
and they keep the property, or he needs to pay them back everything,
Right.
and you guys get title to the property,
Right.
subject to paying the
Either way,
balance
he
off.
got to pay us or them,
Yes. Right.
and it's pretty much going to be the same 10 grand, but it's just who he decide to pay it to.
Right.
And they might say, "Oh, we don't want it anyway. Just give it to them. Pay us our 10 grand back, and we'll gladly take title."
And that may be the end result.
Right.
But I won't know until we get some communication started with
Right.
Mr. Gales and Miss Rankin.
Right.
So if you would like me to, and I'm happy to, I just want to make a copy of your contract. So I have all the information.
Hmm.
and I will need your contact. I give you my contact information. I'll need yours.
I need to ask one little question here.
Sure. You're gonna make me put on my glasses.
Okay, these are the loans, right? So, see the numbers here?
Uh-huh.
This one's scheduled, but this one is default. It means they leave it. So what exactly you talking about? I want to make sure the number you see here is very much what we talk about. Yes, the number default, which is they sell to other party.
Well, at the time that he sold it to the other party, we definitely were not in any default.
He couldn't do that anyway,
Right.
under Florida law.
Right.
When you guys have a mortgage and you guys have a legal interest in the property, which is
Right.
why we do the declaratory relief. Why are you in default on, or did you stop making the payments?
He stopped
I think
collecting
he
it
stopped
at one
collecting.
point.
He changed the password, he did, and that's where all this started. Texting, email, over the years, over the months.
So how were you paying?
Geek pay.
How? Physically?
Oh,
how?
in this,
over the
no
internet.
payment for 4 months, but on this, on GeekPay login, it charged my account every month.
Okay, so how many loans do you have that you're supposed to pay this guy?
2.
Two. All right. One is current and the other one's 4 months behind?
Correct.
And why is the other one 4 months behind?
He's not accepting the money.
And maybe our side also, maybe what happened, business account has fraud happen, and then bank recommend us to change the account number, so that
Okay,
account
so
number change. Either
Is he
side.
accepting payment on the other house though?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so he's accepting on one but not on the other.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, he can't do what he's done. That's a
Right.
self-help foreclosure.
Right.
Now, a self-help foreclosure, if he says, "Oh, I foreclosed and gave it to somebody else," that's illegal, and that's what we call civil theft.
Right.
Now, I got an Iranian guy who did this to a client of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and my law partner and I just filed suit against him last week for civil theft.
Mm-hmm.
The property was worth on the low end $157,000.
Mm-hmm.
3 times that amount is what we sued for.
Wonderful.
Because under civil theft, you can go after him for three
3
times
times.
the amount of the theft. So if your property was taken away from you, it doesn't matter how much you owed.
Mm-hmm.
It's what was the value of the property at the time it sold. You have an argument the value was $30,000 because that was the price that you entered into. He's going to have an argument, nah, property was only worth $9,500 because that's what I was able to get when I sold it to somebody else. You get an appraiser to come out and give you an appraisal. Then you know what 3 times the value is.
90,000.
So if the value comes back and they say it was worth $30,000, okay, then it's 3 times that. We make a demand on him for $90,000. And they won't pay, and we'll have to sue him. And if we get a judgment, then it would be the 3 times the value. If he's able to prove it was $9,500, well, then 3 times your value is $27,500,
Right.
right? So that's what he would have to pay you. His argument would be he'd try and countersue for an offset for what you owed. All right, well, let's see what you owed. And it's going to be difficult for him to go, well, they owed me 30 when it was only worth 9,500.
Right.
Court's going to look at that and scratch their head and go, you want me to believe it's only worth 9,500 when you sold it for 30 and you're demanding 30? So my assessment of this is you're dealing with a bad actor, having looked at both of the properties now. This one he stole from you and sold to somebody else. And it looks like you were continuing to pay all the way up until you said 4 months ago when he transferred it to him over a year ago.
A year ago, yeah.
So there's no way that it's legit. So what I would say is let's talk to the neighbors or the other owners. See if they'll have an lawyer call me up. See if we'll communicate. If they won't communicate at all, I would say you file a suit. Well, I would say we send off a civil threat letter. Here's how civil threat letters work. I send the letter I explain how they committed theft, and I give them 30 days to deliver the $90,000.
Hmm.
So what we would need is either a BPO, a CMA, or an appraisal. Appraisal being the best, right? Then with the appraisal in the letter, I can go, you owe me 3 times this amount under the statute, demand is hereby made for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't pay, then we sue. Now, there's an attorney fee provision in there. So if they fight and fight and fight and fight and fight, and the attorney's fees exceed more than a third, then I just go after the attorney's fees, and you get the whole damages, the whole 90 grand or whatever amount we can justify, and I collect my attorney's fees from him
Mm-hmm.
as reimbursement.
Right.
And I would include in there a declaratory relief as to that property as well,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have a note and mortgage, and he cannot sell it. And because there's a variety of options the court can do. The court can go, I'm going to force him sign a deed, or I'm going to enter judgment. You're going to record this in the public records.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that as well. The court has a lot of power that I have to ask for, but we got to get it there in the first place. And we'll have to give them 30 days to not pay, and then after that, we can sue them in court for 3 times the damages.
Okay.
And so we're dealing with this Iranian guy. He owns like 8 houses, and he took this property back from a woman after her husband died. And so we're going to go after him for $450 something thousand.
Goodness.
And he could have resolved for 100.
Mm-hmm.
So he foolishly decided he's going to fight it. He's going to lose a ton of money.
Right.
So that might be the best way, is to do a civil theft letter against this guy for this property. And but I would want either a BPO, CMA, or prefer an appraisal. And then once I have that, I can draft and send off a demand letter on this.
Okay.
And in addition, I would include a separate letter advising him about that he needs to fix this, execute the deed, and show up for a transaction so that a note and mortgage are properly executed along with the proper deed.
Let's do it.
My thing is, hang on 1 second, sorry. My thing is this, okay, this is all done 2 years back when I don't know jack about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it sounds good, because when as a lawyer, as a prominent lawyer, if you send him and bring on the table, it's wonderful. It sounds good, excellent. Here, I paid maybe 3,000 or 4,000. Okay, in this one. This one, money left is maybe 11,000 or 12,000. So, how I want this to be pursued is this: if he give this money refund, we need to walk out. We done 3,000. And this property, if we want 12,000 and give a deed, we need to do the deed on this. Our problem, he not communicating with us. So that's where, sir, you involved. Whatever happened, let's finish it up in such a way that you happy, we happy, and done. I have no desire to pursue on any of these things in a
Let's talk property A and property B. Property B will be the one where the other people are the new owners on the title. Property A being the one that you stop paying on, right? Or is property B the one that you
property other people he sell? That's the property I'm behind.
Okay.
Defaulted.
All right. So
This
with
one?
that one,
Yes.
with the one that you're behind and you defaulted on, what would you want as a remedy for that?
Nothing. He need to give us
Either a
3,000
refund,
and this we need to bring on the table and say, look, 12,000 left on this. Give us a better price, because you did mess up here.
If he applies a 3,000 in this, give us the deed. We're happy.
All right. Do you know exactly how much you paid?
Here?
How much we've paid in already?
For the one that is now in
Default.
and is in the other people's name, yes, because that's the one you want the approximately 3,000 refund on. And
You want the exact number?
Yeah.
It's 3,000 something. How much is it? How much we paid in?
1 second. Let me plug in this here. I really don't have time over here in a courthouse and all that kind of stuff.
Just let me ask a question. Do they have to?
Here.
Wait, so this one's going. Just want to make sure.
Is that how much it is?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
That's what we-
no, this was for the record. This was for the. Oh, she wrote it on a paper. What it was actually for. This was for the
Stamps.
stamps. That's separate. Stamps is separate from
But
a.
they take card. You didn't have to put a check. I
She
thought
was
she
saying-
wanted you to. I thought she wanted you to record that check like it was being paid. But they take.
They take a card.
Yeah, they
Okay.
accept cards. Yeah.
For the certificate.
Yeah, they take debit cards and credit cards. They don't take personal checks. They'll take
Okay.
cashier's checks.
For the
They
tax
don't take
certificate.
personal.
For the tax certificate. Okay.
County at all. I don't.
Deed.
Right. Auction.
They won't. You can't
Right.
pay it online. You
Right.
gotta go directly to them.
Right.
They won't take anything else.
Right.
You gotta pay them
In full.
all years.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But right now it's only 1 year behind. Or whatever.
This one I paid
Did you find the exact dollar amount?
3,900.
3,900. All right. And on where's the other one?
This one is another one.
What do you want done on this one?
That 3,900 to apply to there, and then we get a deed. We ain't got to pay him another penny.
What's the balance that you owe on there right now?
It's an inflate amount. I think it's assessed at 10, but he has 15, something like or 17. Something. No, it's assessed at 40 something hundred. But he got us. That's the balance. Yeah.
And the default one, which we want 6,900.
26,900 balance.
Interest is very high, you know.
So it'd
these are
be-
repo
And it was
for
a
the building.
$31,000 loan. You said it was
Right.
26.9 is how much you paid.
900.
The
All right,
balance.
so
27.
The refund that you would want would be 3,100.
Okay.
Okay.
The
refund would be 3,100.
Yeah. If you paid
Not the 39.
you paid 26.9, right?
31. Yeah.
Mhm. No. It's the whole thing is 30. We owe 26.
You owe 26.9,
Yeah.
which means you paid 3,100,
Okay. Yeah.
and that's what you want credit for, to go over to the other one.
Yeah.
Which means if 12,440 minus,
Okay. Yeah. Got you. But
there would be still a balance due if he agreed to all that in $9,340 on the other property.
But what he's saying is we've paid 3,900.
It's that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
it's good.
All
Kind of
right.
late for 3,000, whatever money comes. This is in between.
Okay.
So he would, in essence, be agreeing to waive $9,340.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll agree to $9,340 to avoid litigation. But I can address a letter. I can either address a letter to him, or I could address a letter to the other owners. If he says, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and agree to this because yeah, I did sell that other property to somebody else, then we don't need to involve them.
Right.
So is that what you'd like me to do?
The less expensive route that makes everybody happy.
If you get 3,000 back, whatever you do and your impact, I'm sure it gonna happen sometime. So if he gave a refund 3,000 here, then remaining amount is 9,000. Whatever you tell me to do it, I will get paid 9,000. I could transfer.
And I need to know.
Right.
Is that yeah. So here's what, don't lose that. I need contact information. Who do you